The B Plus Recap Countdown.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's B Plus, and welcome to yet another recap countdown. I have a very special one here today. We're going to be taking a look at the Act-Town rapper, the Ohio boy himself, Mr. Swoope, in his latest project entitled 24. Now, this is a follow-up project to his project that came out in 2018 called Sunshine, but it's my opinion that this is just another chapter in the long story that Swoope has been telling ever since he dropped Wake Up in 2012. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys can tell that I'm a pretty big Swoope fan. Being from Ohio myself, I've been rocking with him ever since he dropped The Air back in, I believe, 2009. So I'm super excited about this recap countdown. Now, if this is your first time here with me, thank you for being here. Make sure you hit the like or subscribe button. But here's what I do really quickly. I take a look at my 5 favorite bars, my 4 favorite beats, my 3 favorite tracks, my 2 favorite features, and I'll round everything out with one final recap. Swoope is my favorite rapper, so let's go ahead and hop into this.
5 bars.
Positive, I'm done with negative self-talk. Fill my worst days with my best thoughts, and my worst ways with some self-love. Cause it's way too much weight, carry that I can't forgive myself today. Was just a kid, who am I kidding? Uncle feeling will never, you and I didn't. Cliff and Theo, nothing we know, who am I missing? A loner that wanted you home, or you was not Simpson. Goodbye, crane mysteries, trying to figure out where your head is. Last supper feeling, I found out the villains who I used to break bread with. Olive branches over Olive Garden, turning into beef over breadsticks. Okay, that's enough for the essay. All of the words in your message, living in the spread, the message. All of that talking, that ain't cheap. You get no F's, that ain't me. Yeah, I give F's, but only 3. I'm flawed, I'm really forgiving and free. Seeking the Father, my heart is, so I don't get caught up in all of the kind of drama that's common when you just rhyming for dollars and trying to shine like medallions. That's an imposter that's partial to pocket all of the commas and tried to hide that they kinda forgot to honor the Proverbs. For me, the only options to follow the Bible. Let my provider decide how to honor my grinding.
Okay, now first of all, let me just say that it's nearly impossible to pick just 5 of my favorite bars off of any Swoope project, but I did the best I could. And starting things off with Okay Alright, I really enjoyed that just because you'd be surprised of how many people actually struggle with internal self-talk, negative internal self-talk, and if you're not careful, that can really keep you out of the driver's seat of your life. Next up, we had the line from Ghosted. I really enjoyed that one because it just had just like the father-son references. It had Uncle Phil and Will, it had Cliff, and it had Theo, and then subtly he threw in at the end, not Simpson. I enjoyed that just because it's one of those bars that you have to kind of search and figure it out yourself. Saying he's not Simpson, meaning that he's not Homer, he's not at home, so I really enjoyed that one. Okay, now moving on to my 3rd favorite bar from Remember. And low-key, this is probably my favorite bar. There's a lot to unpack here. So really quickly, he alluded to Christ at the First Supper. So, Last Supper. Christ at the Last Supper. And then, so that's a meal. And then he talks about extending an olive branch or offering to not burn a bridge with a friend over Olive Garden. So there's a meal there. And then he says that over breadsticks, this turned into a beef. So we all know that Olive Garden is wildly known for their breadsticks. And then also, jumping back to the Last Supper, there was bread passed around at that table also, but bread is also known as money. And Judas obviously sold Christ for money. So a lot to unpack there. Really enjoyed that bar. Moving on to my 2nd favorite. Now, I like the bar from Steel probably for nostalgic reasons. I'm pretty sure that early on, either on The Air or The Zoo, which is Swoope's first project, he used kind of like that mess age, the age of mess. He used that bar, I believe, on an earlier project. I can't remember which one. So I really enjoyed that. But then also just kind of how he ended that 16, flawed, forgiven, and free. I like alliteration. I'm really a sucker for when somebody ends a nice 16 with a nice bar. So really enjoyed that. And finally, my favorite bar on the project was No Grease. I liked it a lot just because of the passion and energy they delivered that bar with. But then also that's really my heart. All that we give, all that we do, whether it's what you're doing on YouTube or what you're doing with your regular job, with your work, with your kids, you just grind and you work hard and you let God deal with the rest. You let God handle the rest. So really enjoyed that line. Now let's head over to my 4 favorite beats.
4 beats.
Don't wanna look at my face, don't wanna bring that pain up. I don't wanna face mistakes. Only one thing I'm afraid of, look at me right in the face. the weight. Till you can't take no more. There's no pain, no more, no more. I'ma be with you. I'ma be with you. And when you can't take no more. And when the Lord say no more, no more. I'ma be with you. A new day's a new open door. Thank you, Lord, for that new 24. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, first of all, I have to send a shout out to Juice Bangers. I believe that Juice Bangers was a huge part of this project, and of course a lot of it was produced by Swoope himself. I really enjoyed and loved Mirror Mirror. That was produced by Juice Bangers, I believe. I also like OKF, Old Kirk Franklin. I really enjoyed that mellow trap feel of that song. Side note, I can't tell if that was really Kirk Franklin. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't, or somebody just impersonating Kirk Franklin, but either way, I enjoyed the intro and outro of that one. Moving on to With You, really enjoyed that song. Very powerful, very touching song. It kind of flashback for me to when Swoope dropped a single called Lambo. Gosh, maybe it might have been before Sunshine, but it was just a really powerful song talking about his mother as well. But back to the beat for With You. This is going to be a big claim, but I really feel like how that song continued to build and build. It reminded me of Kanye's Runaway. Now I know that that's a big claim, but it wasn't as climactic as Kanye's, but I really enjoyed how that beat just beginning to build and to build. And lastly, my favorite piece of production on this project goes to New Day. I just thought it was perfect. I thought the bass line just kind of set perfectly. The drums over top of that. He sprinkled in the keys, and then finally the sample. I just loved everything about New Day. It was a perfect start of the project. Just kind of opened you up, woke you up, and I really enjoyed New Day. Now let's hop over to my 3 favorite tracks.
3 favorites.
Yeah, I gotta go get it. If my fire's a problem, then get out of the kitchen. All my partners is with it. No facade, no diction. If we talk it, we did it. So I don't believe none of your blah blahs. You kidding? All that talking useless. Don't need no excuses. Shortcuts for the foolish. Only one way to do this. Put in work. Put in work. Yeah, hope you remember, but if you forget me, best hope I ain't in the mood to be petty. Cause I call it out anytime that I see BS. Put it in your eye like I'm CBS. I keep on receipt like I'm CVS. Memories hard, amnesia is easiest. Keep switching facts up like this Wikipedia. Hoping I won't make it plain like Expedia. Hoping that I won't take flight on a guilt trip. Hoping ain't beef on site like a meal tick. Hoping I'ma be like Christ with forgiveness.
If love is a kingdom, then you always queen. You always queen. If life is a movie, then it's your scene.
Ain't no time better than now for you to hell 'em. King and queen put that crown on cerebellum. Everything, that's what it mean when you can tell them. Gotta give people they flowers while they can smell.
Okay, let's hop into my 3 favorite tracks off of Swoope's 24, starting things off with Put In Work. Now we know that currently, as of here today, Saturday, the finals are tied 2-2 and between the Bucks and the Suns, and secretly I'm pulling for the Bucks. And the reason why I'm doing that is because a few years back, Swoope got an awesome placement for his song Hall of Fame, where Giannis is in that commercial, and he's working out, and Swoope is in the studio doing this thing. Very, very dope, fire commercial. My hope is that the Bucks win, because if they win, this is the perfect song for the next placement. This is the song where I can already see the commercial where you have the JBL headphones, you have the championship trophy in the background. Of course, Swoope is in there once again, and now we have Giannis and Swoope tied at the hip. So that's a whole nother story. But I really enjoyed Put In Work. Now let's hop over to number 2. I really enjoyed it just because of the amount of wordplay throughout the entire song from beginning to end. I also enjoyed it just because we all have these type of relationships in different seasons of our lives where you think it may be a long relationship, a long-term relationship, or just friendship in general, and that thing kind of falls apart, and that person kind of turns their back on you. It may even stab you in the back. So I enjoyed that, and it almost kind of serves as a warning as you might want to treat me right because it's just not good in life to burn bridges. And I also enjoyed it just because of the eeriness of the beat. It kind of just matched the subject matter of the song. So I thought that was a very, very nice touch. And lastly, my favorite song on this project, it has to go to Flowers. And this album actually made me break one of my rules. One of my hard, fast rules when I'm listening to a project for the first time is to start with track 1 and go all the way to the end. But when I saw that the last track was featuring High Society, a legendary group within the Christian hip hop world, I was just like, I have to start with this. And I kind of justified it because one of my favorite movies of all time is called The Prestige, and it's a movie about a magician and a battle between two magicians basically. So and the movie starts at the end and it gives you kind of like a flash forward, then you go back and you get all the way back up to that point, and it makes a little bit more sense. So and honestly, as I think about it, magicians and really, really good MCs, they almost have to have like that setup and then like that punchline or setup in that Prestige. So that was just a whole nother side note, but it kind of made sense. Yeah, so High Society Collective, they are made up of Sho Baraka, Natalie Lauren, Courtney Orlando, formerly known as JR, and then obviously Swoope. They put out a dope project circa 2012, I believe. Yeah, I normally don't have other feature artists on my favorite track, but this is one of the exceptions. And speaking of feature artists, let's get into my 2 favorite features.
2 features.
Live for that new 24, oh. I hit a switch and put some points up on the board, oh. But if I miss, have mercy on my soul. That's another win, I don't even check the hold on. Tell me what's the move? I follow God, I don't follow y'all rules. They so surprised cause they thought that I was through. I'm back alive and I'm feeling brand new, cool.
So I'm rating at a top tier. You counted me out, now you count tears. And some of your favorites is not here. You gotta bring it back to memories, just in case they think they might get rid of me. And they ain't wanna see me living like a king, so I might flex on you for all infinity. Turn all my haters to fans, I'm turning music to bands. Then when I down, my kids on that money and land. I got the play from y'all, he told me it's in his hands. I'm shooting shots till his trophy in hand, and you gotta sit in the stands while I play forever.
Okay, so first of all, before I get into my 2 favorite features, I just want to say that there were a lot of good features on this project. Jimmy Gravity, I definitely rock with him. He's like more of that CCM style, but that song kind of finished with a little gospel twang to it, so I enjoyed that. And then also Goldframe, I hadn't heard of him prior to him being on the record as well, so a lot of good features. But my second favorite feature was Aha Gazelle. I'm a big fan of Aha. That song had a lot of bounce to it. It would have been in my top 3, but the song's been out since the top of the year, and I've probably already played it over 1,000 times. So there's my first favorite feature. And then also, really quickly, I feel like Swoope and Aha have good chemistry because they have a similar upbringing. I believe both of their parents were in ministry, so that may be a good reason why they may click when they get on a song together. And next up, man, Derek Minor went nuclear on the track. It was crazy. I don't know if it was 16 or 24 bars. I didn't count it out, but he managed to like stuff in 3 different styles all in one verse and killed all of them. So shout out, bravo to you, Derek Minor, for doing your things. You're having a big year, so I'm looking forward to By Any Means. Hopefully that's coming out this year. So with that being said, let's get into my 1 final recap.
1 recap.
Okay, so thank you so much for checking out this recap countdown video. I know it went a little bit long, but like I said, Swoope is my favorite rapper, so I'm gonna take my time and really digest this 24 project. I still remember when I first heard Swoope, I was in Cincinnati about to drive down to South Carolina. I was actually being ordained as a minister of the church that I was serving at back in 2009, and I was getting ready to leave, and my brother, my big brother, handed me his project and was like, you need to check this out, because he knew I was a big Lupe fan. So I threw it in. I kid you not, I listened to it back to back to back to back to back all the way down to South Carolina from Cincinnati, and I pretty much have been hooked ever since. And I know that Swoope early on in his career had a lot of comparisons to Lupe and also to Kanye, but that never really bothered me. It actually was very appealing to me that those were his influences, because those were 2 of my favorite artists coming up. So it was exciting to hear somebody to bring that creativity on the production, but also bring the lyricism and the bars. So and I really do feel like Swoope now is really taking those 2 things. You guys all know the very famous M line where he takes some big and some Pac and makes it up in the pot. Like, I feel like that's what Swoope has done with Lupe and Kanye, and now he has like his own signature style rooted in gospel music, and he's just a beast on the keys, and the sky's literally the limit for Swoope, and I can't wait to hear what's for him next. Now, you guys heard me mention a little bit earlier that I feel like this was just the latest chapter in a longer story that Swoope is telling. Now, let me tell you a little bit about that. Now, when I was working on this recap countdown, I was sliding and I was working with the album art just to kind of figure out the placement that I wanted it in the graphics, and I realized that, hey, this is the same kind of color scheme that he had on Wake Up. So that kind of made me just kind of throw on Wake Up while I was just kind of playing around. And I kind of realized that Wake Up is obviously Swoope imploring people to wake up out of their slumber, to wake up out of their slumber. And then we have Cinema. I don't want to spoil Cinema for some people, but Cinema turns out to be, or maybe be, a dream that he gets suddenly woken out of. So then you go from there. So you have imploring for Wake Up, then you have kind of like a dream state, then you move on to Sunshine. And Sunshine for me was just kind of like that first look out the window in the morning. Like, you've been in a dark room all day, you hit those blinds, and boom, you have the sunshine. So there you have Sunshine, and now we have 24, which is a brand new day. So I may be stretching it, but I'm a super Swoope fan, so this is kind of how these albums play out for me. So if you're a big Swoope fan, you may have seen that pattern as well, or you may think that I'm just kind of crazy for pulling that out, but that's what I interpret from it. And that's the good thing about art. About good art, you're able to tell a story and people are able to decipher and dissect it in a way that's meaningful for them. So that's something that I really enjoy about Swoope and all his art. Now, I can't do this whole review and not talk about the 'Cause We Can record and also video. It caused quite a bit of stir on YouTube. Now, it caught a lot of pushback because of the imagery also in the song, and then also Natalie Lauren had a few words that were kind of bleeped out in that song that people just did not like and didn't think it was becoming of a Christian hip-hop song. I didn't have any problem with the imagery in the video at all. But when it came to the lyrics, I didn't love it, but at the same time, it wasn't like the end of the world for me. Now, when it comes to like the imagery of it, I've been to tons of black weddings, and that's exactly how they all look. People are turned up, people are dressed nice, and when people dress nice, they look nice. And people want to look at them. Now, if you're looking at that video and you're taking it too far, and you have a past struggle that you're trying to attach to this video, then that's pretty much on you. So I didn't have any problem with the imagery. I did not love the language. I personally would not have that if I was an artist in another universe. I probably wouldn't have that on my project. But at the same time, it's just like, that's family. That's family, and that song was for just to kind of, it was like artistry and music is you're pouring out what's inside of you, and there is a need sometimes just to celebrate, and that's what that song was all about. I really enjoyed it. As you guys can tell, I'm a big Swoope fan. I gotta figure out a way just to do another video on him and just talk about his art a little bit more, and about why I feel like he connects with a lot of his fans. So with that being said, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I can be found at DJ_B_plus. Feel free to drop down in the comment section as always and let me know what your favorite track was, what your favorite bar was, who your favorite features were, and what some of your favorite tracks were as well. A lot of you guys who are checking out my videos, you are repeat watchers, but you are not subscribers yet. So you guys do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm really enjoying the channel. I'm looking at kind of expanding some things and doing some things new here in the future. So you guys stay tuned and buckled up, and make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the notifications bell so that you can stay up to date with all that's going on the YouTube channel. And once again, I am B+, and until next time, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.